Sean, WSRT Fitness. If you enjoy health and fitness related content, please remember to subscribe, click the bell, select all for notifications, comment below your questions, video ideas, opinions. I'll be happy to review and respond to all of them. Thank you guys so much for watching and welcome. So in today's video, originally I was going to go over all of my blood work. I got my blood work done, and what I decided is instead of making a video talking about all the different things that you would see in your blood work, I figured that since we're just talking about my blood work, I would focus on the one thing that we found that was wrong. Now, I will say my hormones are fine, most of my vitamin levels are fine, my cholesterol is great, all that is great. I'm an extremely healthy person. I have one vitamin deficiency of which adjustments are going to need to be made. And so I'm going to kind of go over what that is. Now, if you have been into fitness for any period of time, likely if you were to be told, guess what this person is low in if they're only deficient in one vitamin, you could probably guess what it is, and that's vitamin D. Vitamin D is it's an incredibly important vitamin to have. I actually took a whole bunch of notes here, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. So basically, the deficiency of vitamin D is very common in athletes. There was actually a study done on athletes between the age of 20 to 29, and 70% of the athletes were deficient in vitamin D. Now, I also live in the country where there is a very limited amount of sunshine for a considerable part of the year. And because of that, and also because of the weather, you don't spend as much time outside, you don't get as much direct sunlight, and that affects your vitamin D levels as well. And that's pretty much the best way to get vitamin D. But obviously there are there are ways to get through food as well, obviously, which I'm going to get into in just one second. So now, why is vitamin D important? So number one, it helps with regulating your hormones. For bodybuilders, people trying to build muscle or people trying to be more active, it's very, very important for recovery as well. Also, being deficient in vitamin D can lead to things like joint pain, rheumatoid arthritis. So there's a lot of those aches and pains, the tired, the fatigue, the lack of recovery, the hormone imbalance. So there's a lot of things that can be caused by vitamin D deficiency. Now, obviously, everybody, if you remember the old Got Milk commercials talking about vitamin D and calcium, because it helps with calcium absorption, and vitamin D as well helps with stronger bones. If you remember those old milk commercials, talking about helps build stronger bones. It also helps improve muscle function and strength as well, which obviously if you're recovering better, you'll have that strength. You'll have that functionality of the muscle, which will help you to gain muscle. Now, vitamin D itself will not build the muscle. At least no information I have found will it build the muscle, but it better allows you to be in a place where you can do the work to build the muscle. It also helps protect from cardiovascular disease. It reduces your risk of type 2 diabetes. Pardon me, it also helps reduce your risk of cancer as well, in which, if you think about it, a lot of these issues, so helping out with your vitamin D, if you are somebody who needs to lose weight to get to a healthy weight, you're noticing that there's a lot of common issues with being vitamin D deficient as there is with being obese. So one thing that I just want to point out, by the way, because I haven't said it yet, and before I get into any remedies, or I'll get into that in a second, you should go see your doctor. You should get your blood work tested. You should know if you have any deficiencies, if it's just vitamin D or if there's other vitamins, if your cholesterol is off, if your thyroid is off, any other hormones. You should get those things tested, and you should know, and you should always discuss the results with your doctor. Don't try to self-diagnose. Don't try to self-treat with the internet. There's simple things, if you're slightly off, where the doctor says, well, yeah, you're going to want to make some small adjustments. All right, fine. Go out, do your research, and make the decisions that you feel are best for you. But if you have a severe deficiency, which in this case, unfortunately, I do have a severe vitamin D deficiency, you're going to want to follow the doctor's orders. So now keep in mind, so when you're getting to food, just to how to get more vitamin D, so there's two forms, main forms anyway. So there's D2, which you will find primarily in fortified food products like cheese and milk, or plant sources, things like dark leafy greens like spinach. And then there's D3, which come from animal sources. So a very good example would be something like salmon or mackerel. So my levels, I'm not going to get into the exact numbers. So what I have done is I've made a couple of adjustments in my diet. I've added a little bit of cheese into a couple of my meals. It comes out to one full serving of cheese per day. I have two, well, it's actually just under, but it's a little bit less than a half serving each time I have cheese. So that adds some vitamin D. My protein shake before I go to bed at night, which I would usually mix with water, I'm now mixing with milk. So I'm getting more fortified vitamin D. Still, you're going to get some healthy fats. You're going to get, some good quality protein that way as well, from the milk itself. And all it took was a couple of small adjustments to other things in my diet, cutting down on the starchy carbohydrate servings in two of my meals. I cut it in half. That's saving me about 180 calories. So I made some other small adjustments, but that all being said, I'm now only consuming about 40 calories more than I was before. But I'm taking in a lot more of the vitamin D through food. I obviously, I've always liked to have spinach with my meals. I've actually upped the amount of spinach I have just a little bit. And then I've also added a vitamin D supplement, which I'm actually going to be doing a supplement. You guys will probably see it later this week or the beginning of next week, talking about all of my supplements, in which I'm going to go over every supplement that I take, when I take it, how much I take. And so if you guys want, you can check that out as well. That video is coming. So that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to report on my blood work. Now I'm going to go back in 3 months and get my blood work tested again. Unfortunately, that time, they'll only be testing my vitamin D, but at my follow-up with the doctor, go over the results, I'm going to ask for another full panel then, because that's going to be right around the time that I start my prep for my bodybuilding show, my first physique competition. And then I'm going to be discussing with him doing another blood test, full blood panel after the show, so I can see what happens when I get myself down to those levels. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. If you have any questions, please make sure you list them below. Opinions, if you think I got something wrong, if you want to talk about it, definitely do so in the comments. I would appreciate that. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you do that. Click the bell, get notified, so that way you can see all my videos and share them with your friends and help this community grow, because that's the goal, is to grow WSRT Fitness as a community. You can also follow me on Instagram at WSRT Fitness, and you can join the Facebook group WSRT Fitness. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.